Why study philosophy? Welcome to Philosopher's Corner. I'm John. Why study philosophy? There are a lot of theories as to why to study philosophy. I think philosophy is probably the greatest universal language that we have for humanity. And I think it's the greatest tool we have for intellectual inquiry and for penetrating into the deeper nature and the truth of life. And there are a lot of other benefits to philosophy, but I think those are the main ones. And it's great to be able to live life and get into the action of life. And that's one level, but all the animals are doing that. And it's a really special gift of humanity to be able to have a mode of intellectual inquiry and a language for then taking time aside from this nasty, short, and brutish life to be able to process what we've been doing, what we've been living, what it means. Philosophy is one of the main avenues to give meaning to life. And that meaning is derived from examination and self-awareness and communication with others who have been doing it. And in that manner, philosophy not only gives us the language to communicate with each other and with life itself and to penetrate into it deeper, it also gives us the means to communicate with great minds and great thinkers throughout time. And in that manner, philosophy is the bridge of the eternal human consciousness. Because now we have a means available to us which bridges from this time frame to anything that's existed in the past. And when we get really good at philosophy, we become aware of the fact that we're depositing stepping stones of thought and concept and self-assurance for those in the future. So it simultaneously validates the now, the past, the present, and the future. So it's a means for creating continuity of consciousness in the void. So it's a wonderfully powerful, wonderfully beautiful instrument that's really necessary and integral to the human consciousness and the human species as it moves throughout time and space. It's a repository of wisdom to which we contribute. And it's a treasure trove and a vault holding the treasures of the wisdoms of humanity that we gain access to when we begin to understand the language and what it means. And it really does begin with know thyself, because humans, as we're constructed throughout time and space, are universal in our constitution, in our creation. So once we know ourselves, then we can be calibrated to know others and to be open to give and receive the wisdom of others, because we've accepted that our current incarnation is a universal in regards to other humans. And philosophy is a tool that allows us on the inner journey, which is in this case is mainly an intellectual journey, but it does lead you to the waters of spirituality, and it also leads you to the shores of materialism. But in this intellectually centered capacity, it gives us the ability to be universal in our inner experience. I had my philosophy teacher at West Point was Dr. Lewis Poyman, and good old Lou Poyman, who was amazing. He said, marry the science of your day if you want to be a widow in a generation. And I took that to heart, because I do have a science degree and in systems engineering. And it's true. Although systems engineering may be it's the most philosophical of the engineering disciplines. But it's true. I've seen science come and go in short periods of time, especially when you study Moore's law and you look at where we're at in the technology explosion, you realize that it doesn't even take a generation. It sometimes takes about 12 to 18 months. Ask anybody who's owned a Zune. But philosophy is constant. Philosophy is constant because it's transcendental, it's timeless, it deals with wisdom, and it deals with the attempt to get at universal concepts and principles. Which that's the same area of study that mathematicians and physicists, they're trying to find the unified field, the unified theory. They're trying to figure out the one equation that describes it all. The universal algorithm. Well, philosophy's been on that search since its inception, and even yogis and gurus and mystics and messiahs and prophets and the whole shebang of people intellectualizing the human experience. They're essentially doing the same thing. Everybody's working their way towards, well, what's the one? What's the one? What is this thing that we're in, the one? And in doing so, in making that inquiry, we become aware of ourselves. We understand what we are as a human. We understand what other people are as humans. We start to understand group behaviors, psychological behaviors, emotional intentions, metaphysics, physics, and then eventually creation itself. And that's the road it leads down. And each step is whatever the step is that you're prepared for that day. And as the momentum builds and as it connects and it grows synergy, then we find at some point as a philosopher on our walk that we've created our own mind, that we've thoroughly examined enough subjects and given them applicability through self and others, that we've created our mind and a worldview. And if we've done it properly and we've done it with due diligence and discernment and connected the pieces one at a time, when we come to completion and we have a full worldview and a full philosophical view, which also includes not knowing things, that is an essential part, is like, because you can never know everything. But if you can get the conceptual pieces all together to fit in this sort of completed spherical worldview of 360 degree coverage on things to some degree, and you have an operating understanding of who you are as a human and other humans and creation, and then you can take it from there to understand the deeper nature, the spiritual energies, and the whatever's motivating the whole shebang. We have it on good authority from other philosophers. Carl Jung's probably the best example, but other philosophers who say when you get to those vistas that, yeah, you can summit this. It's you can get to the view of creation. There are no secrets. There are no secrets in creation. There's myriad amount of discoveries, but one will find that as they continue to pierce through with their philosophical inquiry, that the secrets don't remain for long. You may not always be able to articulate them. You may not be able to share them with everybody. But as you continue on it, they will reveal themselves to you. Philosophy is a trusted process of demystification. It doesn't matter if it's physics or religion or economics or ethics or morality or fill in the blank. It doesn't matter. Philosophy is an exceptionally grounded way to demystify the mystical. And it can be done with all five common senses. Now, as we come into the 21st century and the human species is evolving and the accommodation of other senses is becoming more common, like we'll just say the third eye, the pineal gland, and there's others, but we'll just stick with that. We'll just say as the admission of these other senses, which previous generations might describe as extrasensory perceptions or whatnot, but as we calmly and coolly and rationally look at them all and go, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. That is a real organ. That is a real sense of perception. And we can start to incorporate findings that come from those senses. Then the philosophy, it expands. And philosophy started off mainly as a reasoning exercise. And reasoning is great because reasoning can prevent the creation of monsters. Like proper, complete reasoning can do that because you'll study morals and ethics and all that stuff. And so philosophy is one of the great built-in evolutionary tools to ensure that humans, as they evolve and grow more powerful, also incorporate responsibility and control of the power that comes in from what could really be described as like unbounded evolutionary potential. And it binds us through time and space and to each other and keeps us moral and apprises us of the consequences of immoral action while also giving meaning and demystifying the experience. So, yeah, it's fun. So, hopefully all those things are enough to let you know why philosophy is useful and fun and beneficial and why it's worth studying. So, well, I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for spending some time here at Philosopher's Corner. I encourage you all to make your own philosophy videos. I encourage you to just use philosophy, make it part of your life. I think most of us are already doing it anyway, but I hope you continue to do it. All right? Have fun.